Joan of Arc, the maid who changed the course of history. An enthralling guide to a peasant girl's rise in medieval France and her timeless legacy as a national heroine. Francisco Terrill. Chapter 1: The First Visions and Divine Calling. The tranquil rhythm of life in Domremy, however, was about to be shattered. Around the age of 13, Joan began to experience what she described as divine visions. These were not fleeting glimpses, but rather profoundly impactful encounters that would shape the course of her life and indeed, the destiny of France. These weren't simply the fanciful imaginings of a young girl. They were experiences so powerful, so deeply felt, that they instilled in her an unshakable conviction of a divine mission, a calling to intervene in the devastating conflict that was tearing her nation apart. The initial visions were marked by a sense of awe and wonder. Joan would later recount these experiences with remarkable clarity and detail, highlighting the palpable sense of the divine presence. She described seeing radiant figures, bathed in a celestial light, who spoke to her, guiding her, and imbuing her with a strength and purpose she could never have imagined. These encounters weren't sporadic occurrences. They were deeply personal and transformative spiritual experiences that took root in the fertile soil of her devout Catholic upbringing. The visions were not abstract or symbolic. They were vivid, tangible manifestations of the divine, profoundly affecting Joan's emotional and spiritual development. The figures in her visions, she claimed, were Saint Michael, Saint Margaret, and Saint Catherine. These were not obscure saints, but prominent figures in the Catholic pantheon, reinforcing the legitimacy of her experiences within the framework of her deeply held faith. Saint Michael, the archangel, often depicted as a warrior, seemed to imbue Joan with a sense of strength and courage, mirroring the military tasks that lay ahead. Saint Margaret, the patron saint of childbirth and women, perhaps reflected the nurturing aspect of Joan's character, her capacity for compassion, even amidst the brutal realities of war. And Saint Catherine of Alexandria, known for her wisdom and eloquence, may have provided Joan with the intellectual and rhetorical skills she would need to navigate the complex political landscape of the French court. These holy figures did not simply appear, they communicated with Joan, conveying messages of profound significance. The messages were not abstract theological pronouncements, but specific directives concerning her role in the 100 Years' War. They urged her to act, to intervene, to take up arms for France against the English. This was a call to action that defied the norms of medieval society. For a peasant girl, a woman.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?